Welcome to episode 23 of our series on the surnames of Appalachia and the American South. As you know, there are thousands of surnames in these regions, so to make our task more manageable, we're focusing on pre-Civil War surnames. That's because the Industrial Revolution ushered in thousands more. Each of the family names we'll examine today was requested by members of our YouTube community. You might note that I discuss surnames in the order that I received them, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve as a resource for you. I also appreciate your patience as I make my way through the names still on our list. By request, I'm posting an email address to the Vantage Point in the description, so you can request a surname catalog. It contains all the surnames that we have covered up to this week. In case you missed the previous video, I'll post a link to it also in the description. So, today on the Vantage Point, we'll be talking about the origins and meanings of 10 common and not so common Appalachian and Southern surnames. I hope you'll join me. Let's get this surname party started. Number 1, Brian. No matter how it's spelled, there's about 3 or 4 different ways. Brian is our first Celtic surname from Brittany, France. Despite its Celtic origin, it entered the Isles with the allies of the Normans in 1066. It roughly means esteem or dignity. You might note that Daniel Boone's in-laws are Bryans. His wife's name was Rebecca. They came from Wales. True to that notion, and as with other names introduced by the Normans and their allies from Brittany, Brian quickly spread throughout England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. In Ireland, it's often spelled with an E instead of an A. I think you'll need a paper trail to determine the specific origin of your line of Brian. Number 2, Kaziah. This surname first appears in the Bible. It began its existence in a literary sense as a personal name for Job's daughter. It meant cassia tree. Kaziah is a rather uncommon surname. It doesn't matter how it's spelled, it's not found in any of my surname books. An online source claims that it can come from any country in which Christianity became a powerful institution. To that I say, look at a map of Europe, the Philippines, and the land down under. Number 3, Clowers. If you're a fan of Southern comedians who made people chuckle throughout the 1950s and 1980s, you have no doubt heard of a fellow from Yazoo City, Mississippi. His name was Jerry Clowers. I had the pleasure of sitting near him for breakfast at a Shoney's in Grenada, Mississippi. Sadly, he died a few months later. At any rate, the name Clowers doesn't appear in any of my surname books for the Isles. Online sources send different signals. One says it's an Anglo-Saxon name from Cheshire, England. I don't think so. Another online source claims it is a German surname, Klauer, so I turned to my German surname book, and I did find a similar name in Hans Bolla's book. It stems from St. Claudius. No doubt someone is trying to type me a comment right now to let me know that there are Klauers in England. Folks, if it was a common name, it would have been found in one of my 4 surname books on the Isles. I'll stick with Clowers as an Americanized form of a German surname. Number 4, Dunford. The Ford in Dunford tells me that this is an Anglo-Saxon surname. Ford refers to a river or stream crossing. Dun is a reference to a hill. So we can say that Dunford was given to a person who lived by a hill where a river or stream crossing was situated. Dunford is not found among the common surnames in Wales. In Ireland, it is used as a synonym for Donerty in County Waterford. I was surprised to find that George Fraser Black does not discuss it as a Scottish surname. Why, might you ask? Well, there are many places and surnames in Scotland that have Dun as the first syllable in their names. Here I'm thinking of Dunkeld, Dunning, and Duncan, among others. I think the evidence suggests that Dunford in Appalachia and the South is either an English or Irish surname. Number 5, Harmon. One of my favorite people in the world is Dr. French Harmon from Kentucky, so I was happy to get this request. Harrison says a Harmon is another form of Herman. It was originally a Teutonic name from Northern Europe, and it meant soldier or warrior. In Ireland, it's found mainly in counties Leinster and Louth. It's also used in Ireland in lieu of Hardiman. It doesn't appear in Black's book on Scottish surnames, and it doesn't appear among the more common surnames in Wales. In Appalachia and the South, I think we are safe in calling Harmon an English or Irish surname. Number 6, Aycock. This is an Americanized English name, Haycock. It originally meant hedgecock. It's not found among the more common surnames in Wales, nor is it found in MacLeisic or Black's books. I think we can call Aycock an Americanized English surname. Number 7, Nash. Being a native of Tennessee, it's hard not to see Nash in the context of country music and the state capital. In truth, it makes me think of a West Virginia boy who became a Nobel Prize winner in economics. His name was John Nash, and he was the person that was featured in the 2001 blockbuster film A Beautiful Mind. At any rate, Nash was originally an English name for one who dwelled near an ash tree. As with a couple of names we've already looked at today, in Ireland, Nash has become Hibernised in counties Limerick and Kerry. It's not all that common in Wales, and Black doesn't discuss it in a Scottish context. I think we in Appalachia in the South are safe in calling Nash an English or Irish surname. Number 8, Golden. When I received the request for Golden, my mind went straight to Golden, Colorado. My missus worked there for 3 years. I also warmly remember Atomic Bob's hamburgers. They were just about the best burgers that I've ever eaten. But I'm happy to say there's a similar place in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. It's called Hibachi Burger. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. Sorry, I digress. Golden is an English surname. It's derived from a nickname for a person with golden colored hair. In Ireland, it can be found as an English immigrant surname or as an alternate form of 3 Gaelic family names. Black doesn't mention Golden as a Scottish surname. It's likewise missing from a list of common Welsh surnames. It looks like Golden is continuing today's trend of English or Irish surnames. Number 9, Holbrook. This surname originated in Suffolk in Derbyshire, England. It means a brook in a hollow. Around my neck of the woods, that would be, there's a creek down in the holler. At any rate, Holbrook is not listed in any of my surname books for the Isles except for Harrison's book on the United Kingdom. I think we're safe in calling Holbrook an English surname. Number 10, Bilbrey. This surname appears to be derived from the Scandinavian or Viking name for Bilby, which meant Bill's farm or estate. Since the Vikings heavily settled in Yorkshire in the northeast of England, one finds several names there that end in by. It's not common outside of England, so I think we're safe, or compelled even, to call Bilbrey an English surname. Well, friends, that's just about all I have for today. I hope you got something meaningful out of our discussion. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I invite you to check out all the videos on the Vantage Point. In addition to surnames on Appalachia in the South, they cover a wide range of other historical and geographical topics. If demand warrants it, I'll be back soon with another episode on the surnames of Appalachia and the American South. I hope to see you then. God bless you and yours. Bye-bye.